Good evening, everyone. My name is Someshwar. I welcome all of you on behalf of our organization to Yog Vaashishtha evening session. नमस्ते, मैं सोमेश्वर आपका आपसे योग वाशिष्ठ के सायंकाल के सत्र में स्वागत करता हूं। We are on day 111. आज हम लोग 111वें सत्र में यहाँ पहुंचे। We'll begin our session by chanting Om 3 times, and then I will continue with the session. So once again, all our Zoom participants, all our Facebook viewers, all our YouTube viewers, you are all welcome to this session. Let's continue our session. Let's all close our eyes. आंखें बंद कर लें. Let's comfortably आराम से बैठ जाए. रीढ़ की हड्डी सीधी हो, गर्दन सीधी, shoulders relaxed, your spine erect, neck straight, and shoulders relaxed. Let's bring back our attention to our breath. Take a normal breath in and let go. Take a deep breath in and let go completely. Take a deep breath in for Omkar chanting. Let's invoke the divinity within. Guru का आवाहन कर ले. आवाहनम 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 पुनः पुनः Let's express our gratitude towards the Master. Guru Brahma करते. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Shri Gurave Namaha. Let us pray to the divinity, to the Master. Whatever the known and unknown levels of our existence are anyway created by that Guru Shakti, that Shiva Shakti, that Brahma Shakti. So if its presence is there, whatever the words that come out of this mouth, whatever the actions and events happening around. Whatever the thoughts hover on to our mind and the power of discrimination arise in our intellect. Whatever the impressions that might be getting created on the memory. And still there is an iota of that I, me. Let all that inspired by the master alone pray like this. We, the people walking on the path of liberation, if you have already experienced that liberation, that bhakti, moksha, then this remaining life. And if you come back here again with a purpose, that too with the intention of the master, let all that be inspired by the divine. Feel the presence of the master within and outside, and slowly and gradually you will open your eyes. धीरे धीरे अपनी प्यारी सी आंखें खुद से Jagadev, so let's continue with our today's session. So till yesterday we saw a story of Chudala Khan, the Shikidvaj, who is the king, and Chudala is the queen over here. And we have seen how beautifully they go through multiple ups and downs, multiple aspects of this life that they have been enjoying. They are king and queen, so they had access to all the so-called material pleasures. And when they're enjoying that, they got into a thought process that somehow this is now getting dead. This tarunya, that youthness that we used to enjoy is now fading up. Somehow it is getting diminished. And then they start walking on this path of self-realization, where Chudala continues to do the self-contemplation and becomes self-realized, becomes enlightened master. But the Shikidvaja does not pay attention to what she is saying, and ultimately he has to do by leaving that world behind. He goes to the forest, and that is where he spends almost 18 years, but still does not get that realization. Wherein Chudala plays a role of a Kumbha, goes there and play a role of a guru over there, and then guide him through the real knowledge, real Atma Jnana. And then upon listening to that Upadesha, that guidance from the master in the form of Kumbha, with Chudala itself, so he gets into self-realization. This entire thing goes on, and then all the different knowledge such as yoga, pranayama, meditation, adhi, vyadhi, sickness, and its various solutions, how one can go and achieves even those siddhis, those intuitions, so different themselves, all these things, and with a self-realization. That thing continued throughout the story. So that is also, Chudala also takes the test that whether he has really realized or not. Still there is those greed, entanglement are still there or not. And when she discovers that he is completely out of all these things, whatever the act that she does over there, he thoroughly come out of those tests and shine like a sun. So in this story, we have seen all the suspense, we have seen the love, we have seen the couple, we have seen the Grihasthashram, we have seen the Vanapashram, we have seen all aspects of knowledge and all aspects of ignorance, also both things. So this Chudala, there is this Shikidvaja present in all of us. No? We have that Shikidvaja's nature also, and we have the Chudala's nature also. The one who is valuing the things and the one who is not valuing despite of getting the Chintamani. So those Shikidvaja and that Chudala, all that we need to do is walk on the path and then see how the Shikidvaja takes little bit of more time for us, how we can reduce that time to bring into someone like Chudala. Someone like Chudala who herself become Atma Jnani. Not only that, she doesn't stop there, she also goes and uplifts other individuals also. No, she takes the form of a Guru. The way Gurudev have chosen us. We have become art of being teacher. What is our role? is to go and share whatever is given to us. The same role Chudala also plays over here. So there is a Chala and there is a Shikhidvaja in each one of us. Now, having said that, when we'll start with the next chapter now, chapter number 82, where we'll go to a story of Brihaspati Putra, the son of Brihaspati, called Kach. We'll see that, and then there is a story of a illusionary man. That is the two chapters that we'll cover today. So here, after telling this story of Chudala and Shikhidvaja to Rama, so all this going in front of Rama, Vashishtha Muni is giving all this knowledge, and it's all happening in the court of Dasharatha, that court, where everybody is sitting and listening to Vashishtha Muni, where Vashishtha Muni is giving knowledge to Rama, or everybody is listening and there is a dialogue that is happening. So here Vashishtha Muni says, Rama, just like this Shikhidvaja and his wife Chudala, they gone through this Atma Buddha and they realize how that in a chronological order, I've explained to all that, how they become Jivan, how they become liberated. So like that, I have told you in detail all this. Like this, you also do not walk on the path where you have to regret. You have to regret in your life. So like this here, Raghava. Now let me tell you one more story of, there is somebody called as, who is the guru of all the gods, called Brihaspati, and he has a son called Kach. So let me tell you the story of Kach, how he has become enlightened, and what is it that stopped him while walking in the path, what all the obstacles he faced. We'll go through that. So this is where the same day Rama, he starts telling the story, Rama. There was this Deva Guru, the Guru, the master of the gods called Brihaspati, and he had a very intelligent son called Kach. So he has just finished his childhood and he has entered into the youth. And by that time, he has already completed his formal education. He has acquired all the skills. He was very skilled in all these things. He has studied all the branches of Shastras, the science, and the Vedanta Shastras, etc. And he has become really a wise and knowledgeable man. At least you can say knowledgeable, wise or not, is something that will open up. So he has become a really knowledgeable man. And because of that, probably that could be the reason, because he has given through all these things, that thing arises in his own thing, that there is something else that I really need to know, because that curiosity was there. And then with that curiosity approaches his Bhagwan, because we all address to each other like a god. So he says, Bhagwan, that since I have come on this planet, since I have taken birth here, I have been going through this n number of time, this feeling of this bondage, that there is something called a Jiva Bhava, that individual consciousness, which keeps saying that, okay, I am Jiva, I exist, and then I am like this, okay, I am engineer, I am art of being teacher, I am father, I am son. It keeps itself identified with multiple its identities. So like that small tiny thread that exists, and that is what is kept me stuck. I feel that is what is binding me throughout in this life. That is what is getting me stuck here in this illusion. This is Maya. All these things are going. I feel I'm stuck into that. What is the root of getting out of this? How do I get out of this Maya Jal? How do I get out of this illusion here? So that is my question. And kindly you tell me. I have studied all the scriptures. I have gone through it, but still, this very subtle question, this very question itself, I did not find an answer to. Now that's the reason I am bow down to you. Kindly, I surrender to you. Kindly, you only guide me. Now, what is it that I really need to do to get over this feeling of that I-ness, that aham, that jiva bhav? So that is where the Brihaspati says that, oh my child. So this illusion that is spread here like a Maya, that Maya Jal. No? So for that, one really need to get into the form of like, get out of that, and then really get into that thing, that samskara, that if you have to go pass by this samsara, this universe, go get over it, then there is something called as you need to adopt in your life. It's called as Sarvatyaga. So he says that do this Sarvatyaga, and then, but it is very important for us to do. When you do this, that Sarvatyaga, it should not come out of that udveg. Means it's like it should not come out of fatigue. No, that okay, I'm going through this, and I'm suffering, and then I'm thinking that there is that fatigueness is there, and because of that, renouncing something is not going to help. For example, if you go to office and then you come across a boss or you come across team members in your office, which you are not very comfortable with, and to do that, what you do is you have to change the job. Does that help? If you do not know how to ride a bicycle, just by changing the brands of bicycle, will that help? No. Instead, if you whatever the bicycle that brand is there, learning how to drive a bicycle, learning how to deal with the situation in the office will make sense, not by changing the job, not by changing the relationship, not by changing your cycle. If you do not know how to deal with it, no matter what, wherever you go, you will not be able to deal with it. So when you do that Sarvatyaga, it is very important that it should not arise out of the udveg. No, it should not arise out of the fatigue that is caused because of the circumstances, situation, people, objects around us. No, don't try to run away from that. If you're trying to run away from that and then take a sannyas, it's not going to help you. So then like that Vishayatyaga, that outgoing tendency of your mind towards outside, that needs to happen. And once you have done that, once you have renounced that, at the latter stage, you should not feel that what is it that I have done. You should not regret that, oh, I have done that. It was a wrong decision. No, that should never come. That question should never come. You should be very, very obvious, and it should be very, very clear to you that you are away from that. No, then only you will be able to go across, pass by this universe. So like this, after listening to his father's guidance, Kach, his name is Kach, Brihaspati Putra, the son of Brihaspati Kach. He happens to leave his place, Gardar Chodke, he happens to leave his home and then goes into the forest. So like this, the one who was self-realized, the one who was enlightened master, Brihaspati is one such, he is the master, even to the gods. Despite that his son has left his home, it doesn't get into sorrow or any dukkha. No, he is just devastated. He feels it's okay that he is walking on the path. Let him be. He doesn't get into the one who is established like a Meru mountain, established like a sthir, that stable being. Then all these other things, the people, the situations, the actions, that does not matter. They are able to remain constant in all that situation. So their buddhi, their thing, their mind does not even distract from what they are doing that point of time. This is exactly what happens with Brihaspati. That irrespective of the situation that has happened, he remains stable. Now here the Kach goes to the Aranya, and there a thing that he continues to practice whatever he wanted to practice. And then he spent almost 8 years over there. But despite of spending the 8 years in the forest, he does not really get what he wanted to achieve in his life. He still did not do that. And again, he comes back to his father. And that is where he said, with full honor and respect. With full honor and respect, very politely, he says to his father, oh, father, this is what I have done. I did Sarvatyaga. Look, I left my home. I left you. You are so near and dear to me. I left you. I went. But despite of that, I really did not feel that peace in my within. So kindly, he is addressed Baba. No, he is addressing, oh, father. No, that despite of being this, still I did not get that Vishranti, that peace of mind. Kindly tell me what is it that I'm supposed to do now. Then by listening to this, again Brihaspati just said 2 words, that Sarvatyaga. Just do all the Sarvatyaga. After listening that, and he had some works of Brihaspati happens to go to his work. And then he again, whatever he thinks that small little things, he doesn't anyway have many things. So whatever that small little thing that he is carrying, that command asana where he used to sit and all that. Whatever is that he's carrying, he drops on that also, and then he goes. So he is now just appearing like that space where nothing is being there. It's just empty. He's just there on his own, and he goes into the aranya. He goes into the forest, and now he doesn't have anything. So wherever he gets a chance, he will sit there to protect himself from all the seasons and all that. He continues to lead his life. Like this, 3 more years passes by, but still he doesn't get any peace of mind. Again, with a very fatigued and very dull face, he goes back to his father and say, "Look, Baba, look, father, I have dropped all that danda that I used to carry, that stick for my meditation, medalu, which I used to have to do the tirthapana and to offer all these things, and even the asana also. I see I dropped everything. I left everything. Nothing is there. I am not carrying anything. And despite that, I am not getting the peace of mind. Now, kindly tell me, what am I supposed to do?" So he says, okay, that Sarva Tyaga means probably you have understood it very wrongly. You are dropping all your external things that you have been carrying. No? But here what I mean by Sarva Tyaga means actually you need to go ahead and drop your Chitta. So the Chitta Tyaga is nothing but Sarva Tyaga. And after this, then you will become really self-luminous. You will become Sarvagya. You will really become the self-realized. Like this, so you go ahead to the Chitta Tyaga. That is nothing but the Sarva Tyaga. Like this, he is busy. He goes and continues to do his other work. Listening to this few more tips, the Kach goes and try to contemplate on that. He says, okay, fine, I have this body with me, and this body has all these 5 senses. No, so definitely it doesn't appear that this body or these 5 senses and it's altogether this thing doesn't appears to be chitta. So he contemplate on that, what is the chitta? But because if I have to drop that chitta, first I really need to understand it. And if I don't understand what the chitta is itself, because I try to see it here and there, I don't see anything. I see my hands, I see everything. I could breathe, I can feel that there is a, I can breathe. But what is this chitta? I don't see that chitta anywhere. No? So if I have to really drop it, then how do I do it? Achha, if I happen to see that, okay, let me drop this body, let me drop this all 5 senses, again, that is also not going to help, because that may or may not drop the chitta. Who knows? Chitta will still remain. And again, I'll have to come back here. Like such different doubts and questions that are still holding to in mind, just because you still don't know the real knowledge. You still not realize that what it is. No? Still does not have got to the level of understanding the different levels of existence which Master has given us in the happiness program itself. The knowledge about that. So he says that what is it that I should do? This has really become my enemy. This chitta is acting really like my enemy now. It has become my Mahashatru, the real enemy for me. And really, this is the root cause of all that things that is happening with me. Really, I need to get hold of this. Let me go back to father and ask. And again, he goes back to his father. He says that, look, kindly explain me what is this chitta? What is the swarup of this? How does it look? How does I feel it? And if once I feel it, how do I drop it? Kindly, hey, dad, can you explain to me? So that is where the Brihaspati starts giving the knowledge. Look, whatever you think, that this chitta is nothing but your ahankara. So you go and drop that. It is very easy to drop your ahankara. For Brihaspati, it is very easy. So he says that go, and the one who looks at it, ultimate observer, as a Sakshi Bhav, just as an ultimate observer, those chitta, for them, the one who are self-realized, the realized, they call it as ahankara. No, it's the same thing that ahankara, so it's called as chitta also. So it's the same thing. So that like that, what you do, you go into see into every animals where there is that inside that there is thing that you will find this aham bhava is there. That is chitta. That is what is chitta here. It's chitta, same chitta, it takes a form of your different faculties also and ahas. So that is where the Kach says that, hey Deva Guru, he is addressing her, he is the gods, he is the Guru of master gods. So he says Deva Guru. So like Deva Guru, for me, if you ask me really, for me dropping this ahankara, this ego is really appears to be very difficult to me. It's really almost impossible. It's just near to impossible. That is how do I do it? How do I actually do it? So that is where the Brihaspati says that, just like, see, instead of, now this is where the fundamental principle of Yoga Vaashishtha is coming here. Now, what is the fundamental principle of Yoga Vaashishtha? That instead of, Gurudev also says this very beautifully. What does Gurudev says? That you don't try to be that Atman. No? Don't try to be self. Don't try to become self. He says that you realize, you accept, you मान लो इसको, if नहीं जानना नहीं, if you are not still knowing it, forget about knowing it, you believe that you are that. So all that effort you are doing to be like that automatically vanish. There is no need of putting much effort, because you are already felt. It is exactly similar like that. Don't try to be happy. Don't put an effort to be happy. Don't associate your happiness with the people, object, and events. That when such things happen, then I'll become happy. Then I'll feel contented. No, he says that you be contented and then do the things. Exactly in a similar way, if you think that something exists and you put an effort to destroy it, is much, much longer path. That something is exist and then I have to put an effort to destroy it. Then it takes time. But the moment you say that this extra doesn't exist, no, there is no astitva, it doesn't exist, automatically all the efforts to eliminate thing also is eliminated, right? Nothing is there. This something is not there, what effort you will put to eliminate it? So this is the thing. So here Brihaspati tells them, instead of going and plucking that flower, no, or instead of going that whatever you see that closing your eyes towards it, instead of that, even easier than that, it is very easier than that to drop this ahankara. And there is no klesh involved. There are no too many efforts involved. Let me tell you that now. So he says that how you can really search for this ahankara. So he says the root cause of this ahankara is nothing but is the ignorance. What is ignorance here? It is the feeling of separateness from the one which is there, which even Gurudev explains to us. Ego lies, it's a feeling of separateness. So it says that it is the agyan, it is the ignorance, that because of the ignorance, that something which comes into picture as a chitta, ahankara, and says that I am somebody different. I am different than Shiva. I am different than Brahma. I am somebody. No, that one gets into this form of somebody. And in reality, if we see the Utpatti Prakaran, if we see the creation of this universe, in that Chidakash of Brahma or Shiva, whatever you say, in that Chidakash, there is this small little Chittakash that comes into existence, and it says that I am somebody. It has forgotten the Mool Sarupa, the real nature, forgotten that, and it says I am somebody. And this is what is called as ahankara. That to this ahankara name, what we have given, it itself is an illusionary. No, that we are calling it as ahankara just for the sake of our understanding. This ahankara itself is not there. It is just mithya. It is just an illusionary thing that is there. In reality, if you go and see, there is nothing like that ahankara exists. There is no existence of this ahankara. It is just that chitta only, which is taking form of this ahankara and appears like that, right? So when it is like just a Brahm, it's just an hallucination. It's just like that. For example, on the there is rope that is lying down. You see that as a snake. Now, if you go to a desert, you see there's a mirage of water, no, it's full of water, and as you go near and near, it just keep going away from you, and nothing is there. So, such an hallucination, such an hallucination, such an illusion, delusion, all these things, they are not reality. They just appear to you as it exists. But other than that, there is no existence of this. The moment you realize this, the moment that this ahankara itself does not exist, automatically, the moment you come back from this ignorance to this knowledge that it does not exist, it's unreal, it does not exist, very moment all other efforts required to destroy ahankara vanishes. They cease to exist, because what doesn't exist, what effort we'll put to destroy it. Such a beautiful, such a fundamental principle of Yog Vaashishtha coming here. Then what happens? It is just because of that Sakshi Bhava is not there, that knowledge is not there. Because of that, by forgetting the Jnaya, by forgetting really the one which you are supposed to experience, one gets caught up into this Brahma, this entanglement, and that is again purely because of the ignorance itself. It is like that small kid, no? In that small kid, it imagines something like a ghost, something like that Vetara. It leads into some stories, forms an imagination in the Kalpana, only imagination. No? We like that only people have just got into this thing as something called as ahankara. No? But if you see that it is just like a bubble in the ocean, the bubble keeps coming and it just pop up. What remains is the water. There is no place for that bubbles. It just very momentarily. But it is like that only it is there. It actually doesn't have. Then how can we say that it has any separate existence of itself? No. In reality, if you really see the real thing that is there, it is that Ananta, Chinmatra, Keval, Shuddha. It is that pure, just like an space, no, clean, pure space. That one which does not have start and end, no, something which is infinite, that nature, that thing is only that Sarvasakshi, that journey, that realization is only the one. That is the only one which is Vidyaman. That is the one which is omnipresent, omnipotent everywhere. You always focus only on that. The moment you just focus on that only, continue to think about that, the manana, chintana, and from the bhava, you do it, then automatically all the other things, no, this ability, this asvastapara, this impatience that you are experiencing, that entanglement that you are experiencing, the way you are going from one place to another place, wandering here and there, all these things, you will be able to leave that behind, become established in peace. And like that only, you become established in peace, be very tatast. We have that samya drishti and be very calm and stable. Then automatically all these things, this arm will automatically leave you. It will not stay. All the identities that you are carrying, and this, I am this, I am this, I am that, they will automatically leave you behind. So like this, hey Putra is addressing, oh my child, like this, if you do this, all these things that I am this body, I am this mind, I am this chitta, I am this ahankara, if you leave this behind, then this is a very narrow thinking. Sankuchit vritti is a very narrow thinking, and that is where it creates that wall between you and yourself. No? So that is where you are able to go with yourself. Believe that this thing is, we have bound it with all this desha, this limited body, kala, with limited time frame. But the one which is there, it is beyond, it is kalatit, it is beyond time. No, it is beyond space, it is beyond that limited space. No? So to that only you become sakshi, you become an ultimate observer, and the one which is nityodit. Nityodit means it does not rise, or it does not go into set. No, so it doesn't rise, does not. It is there. It is nityodit. It is self-luminous, something which is there always. So that is, it is utpatti and vinash both. It is neither created nor destroyed. No, it is that. That is what you are. That is what, hey son, that is what you are. So like this, the one which is there in all the four directions, the one which there is everywhere, like because of that rust, because of that fluid, because of which that tree comes into existence. If you see its leaves, if you see its flower, if you see its fruit, if you see its all stem and all other branches, the one that rust, that that flows through it, no, that is what is that one is there. Like that, that itself is the, like this in the entire body, in all your other things, in all the action that you, there is one, that pillar that is there, that is that Chitatma is what you are. So you continuously contemplate on this akhanda, you continuously contemplate on this, believe in this, that you are that, and like that, and then I am not this body consciousness. That's aham, this bhav. Automatically it will destroy. Anyway, it is not. there itself. So you will get rid of this. So Vasishtha Muni re-address here, we are starting chapter number 83. Here says Rama, like this Pratyabha, this Paramatma, no? That yoga, listening to this kind words, listening to this Paramagyan, supreme knowledge, Kach really becomes, after listening to his father, he really becomes the Jivan Mukta, he becomes the self-realized soul like this, and he becomes the Mamata Shuranya. Nirahankar means Ahankara is not there, ego is not. Egoless, no? Selfless, egoless. No, Ichcha, that Hridayanti, right? There are no desires and cravings that are left in his heart now, and he becomes completely shant. No? He becomes completely peaceful. Like that, also here, Rama, it is worth being in that state. You also become and stay like this. So like this, he says that when one does really get into this Atma Bodha, means this self-realization, which remove all your ignorance, and then when, despite of being in this universe, which itself is Maya, this Jagat, which itself is Maya, this world is a Maya, just like that lotus flower, that which is there inside all the mud, and yet it comes out and blossoms like a flower. You will remain, you will blossom like a Brahma Swarup, like a Shiva Swarup. You will be there, and you will have that Ekatattva Buddhi, one Tattva, Ekatattva Abhyasa, one consciousness, dropping all the Advaita, dropping all the Dvaita, dropping all the dualities. You will establish yourself into the non-dual, means only one. No? That is worth listening to. So now, how does one get into this? Here, Vasishtha Muni says, Rama, that you also, like that, that is this Mithya Purush, no? There is some illusionary man that is there. Like that, you don't get confused, like that man. So there is this Mithya Purush, like that, you don't get confused. You, in this sansara, in this vicious life cycle of death and birth, you don't get entangled into, don't get yourself confused in this thing. There's nothing that you'll gain out of this exercise. So you get into this Atma Bodha, and then that is where you will really be able to establish yourself, no? By keeping behind all this grassroots level body, the outer world that appears, the things, objects that appears, people that appears. Don't get into this Mithya Maya is just because they're so that it just disappear one day. No? So listening to this, Rama is very keen and is very listening. He said that he addressed now Vasishtha as Bhagwan. So he says, Bhagwan, because of the knowledge, because of the pearls of wisdom that you have been sharing with us, I really feel like that cloud which is full of that jala. Now that I really feel contented. No? So like that, I have become very contented. So like this, my inside Antakarna, this inside thing, if you see, it has completely now sheetal, like just like it has become very peaceful and calm. No? So just like that, even if that you are telling me this, but just like that, people doesn't get bored out of the moonlight. People doesn't get bored of a nectar. They never say, I'm bored of a nectar. I'm bored of being in the moon. No, like that, I never feel. No, look at his politeness. I never feel that you should stop this while sharing this knowledge. This is enough for me. I really do not feel like this. I always am ready. I'm always evergreen, always ready to listen to this knowledge. And in fact, I'm becoming more and more curious the way you are telling, no, this knowledge is via multiple such stories. So kindly tell me, I'm again asking this question to you. No, not because I am bored out of this, but out of curiosity to keep this conversation going. I'm again asking, very politely expresses, asking this question to you, that who is this Mithya Purush? Who is this illusionary man you just mentioned about? Kindly tell me that he doesn't have, doesn't he know the truth? Doesn't he has access to the truth? Who is he? Doesn't he understand this thing, that this is Mithya, and this thing, this Ashashvat, this thing's world which is ever changing itself? No? So why he is spending like this? This man is spending his life keeping and trust in this outer world here. So that is where the Vaashishtha Muni says that this is really funny story. You'll really laugh. It is really comedy. But let me tell you the story of the Mithya Purusha, the illusionary man. So he says, Draghava, there is this one somebody called as Maya Yandra Maya. Maya means this illusion. Yantra means something which is like a puppet. And this Yantra means this Maya Maya. Yantra is there, which is just like and as it is driven by the Maya, it is all redirected by the Maya, the illusion, the Mithya. Because of that, this Purusha is called as just like an Bahula, just like an puppet. You have seen those puppets, you know, the strings are there and the puppet will just behave like strings which are pulled like that only, that Mithya Purusha is there. So it is just like you see, it doesn't have whatever little bit intelligence, it doesn't have much of it, it's completely ignorant. So just like a small baby, the one who will go and pick up everything, it will say whatever is there in this world is just for me to eat. And it will pick up anything and put into his mouth and start chewing that. So like that, this Muda Buddhi, this Alpa Buddhi, the very small little Buddhi is here, like that, completely filled with ignorance. This Mithya Purush, he is staying in somewhere that is Shunya. No, something Shunya. It has born out of Shunya. That there is no here and there is no to and forth, and he is born out of that. And in that Shunya city, means in that there, only he has remained like that. Now, in this stage, this we have seen this Chidakasha. What this mood says that, okay, I have built, it takes the other form. And then you say, okay, in this Chidakasha, let me have my own space. The entire space is there. But he said, let me have my own space. And like that, he puts up that boundary in the specific boundary. In reality, nothing is there. He says that there is this boundary that there in the space, and this boundary is mine. And in this, let me protect this boundary now. Now that Chidakash, that space which is there inside it, that is mine, that location is mine now, and let me go and protect it. Look at his foolishness. So like this, he says that he'd start looking at that space is something different than the space which is there around. That is my space. No, the way we do it here on the planet. This is my place. This is my plot. This is my kingdom. This is my earth. Like that, only in the space he creates something and say it's mine, and start protecting it. That murkha, that fool, that the one who does not have any wrong knowledge, he's gotten to. Like that, he sees that this drishya, this water is there, that is what he becomes like that. So if you can see this as an analogy also, what we do, we created this body and we are protecting this body, and that is there inside this body and I'm protecting it. No? So like that only, that says, I am the Swami now. I am the Lord. I am the one owner of this space. That space is there in this Chidakasha, which is unlimited. He has put up a small little frame and he is saying that I am the Swami of that. I am the owner of that. Look at that foolishness. So he says that this is there and this is, I have created this. I am the creator of this. I have created this home for yourself. Now I go and protect it. Like this. He does this asta like this. So these are called like a Balish game. The one childhood. In a childhood, how the kids play. So like that only he says, hey Raghunandana. He's addressing Rama. Hey Raghunandana. Like this, in that Kalpit, something which is imaginative, Gruha Ashram, something which is imaginary space. By looking at, he becomes very happy. And then the moment the other Rutu start, the Sharad Rutu starts, this space will also diminish. Some air will come, and this will, just like that, it takes away all the cloud with it, this will destroy. And then this he will start doing, hi, I lost that space. Look how much of effort I did put. I have been protecting it for so while, and look at that, it is destroyed. And like this, he will repent and regret. And then again, he will do another space. This time he'll go and create a space of a kumbha. He'll say that, okay, look, this kumbha I have created, this pot I have created, and look, there is a space inside that is my space. Now let me protect it. And after that also, that will also destroy it. And he said, he will cry out that, look at, I have lost my space which was there in that kumbha. as if that space was different. It's the same place, but he say he will cry for that, even that Kupa also. The same thing he will cry for the Kumbhas. Like he keep on doing this, and Vashishtha Muni said that, look, this is what he keep on doing. He will cry, again he will make some space, again he will say that it belongs to him, and again when it loses, this is exactly what is happening with all the people here. They take up this body and they feel that it is that, they get into this ahankara, they lose this body, again they will try, again they will take a new body, and this is the satat, this prakriya is happening, this is continuously going on. So like this, hey Rama. So while listening to the story, this Rama says, Bhagwan, this Mutya Purusha, that what mentioned, this illusionary man who was there, you appeared like a Maya Purush. Who is that? No? So like that, who is saying this Akash Rakshan is protecting the space here, that small little place. So here the Vashishtha Muni says that it is that Ahankara. He is nothing but that Mithya Purush. See, it is that Ahankara, it is that I am separate from the divinity. And then I have my own existence. No? So it says that it is nothing but that Maya Mantram is nothing but your Ahankara. It says that Purush is nothing but your. So see how does his Ahankara works here, how does his ego works over here. He says that in this Maya Akasha, this what I created, it is in the Akasha Kosha. It is in that Chida Akash, where he says in the Avakta form, in the Nirupra, there is no Akar there, no? But still it says that, okay, I am there. No? In that Ananta thing, where that thing, that limitness, that boundary does not exist, in that thing, he says that I exist. Because of that only it's called Asat, and it's called as Shunya. So before this Srishti, before this world is created, it was that Asat, that Shunya, that is there. Shunya Akash, that is what is called as Shunya, the Shunya space, that is what exists. After that, what is being created is called as something called as Maya Akash, something which is Maya, something which is illusionary in there, and it is beyond that, other than that, something which is even Sukshma, something which is very subtle than that. That is what is Atma Swarup. That is what is your Atma is Sthitya. So like this here, Rama, in this Akasha, something comes as a first thing comes as a Shabda. So he's saying, it's Omkar. Om, that Nada comes into picture, and using the sound, then by giving it different sound, the consonants and vowels, and using them come together the Shabda, words, and then putting together words together, all the different forms that we have expressed in using the word. So Nama and Rupa. Rupa means the form. So all that thing comes into existence. So is there in this Vayu Rup, in this thing, that spandan, that vibration is created because of that Dhvani, that Shabda, that in this Maya Akash, what is completely like a Maya May, it's completely illusionary, that Lingatma comes into picture. So that Lingatma is nothing but that Sukshma Ahankara, Sukshma, very subtle ego that gets created, and that thing is created is the Karana, that is root of this, because of this Maya Akash. Then it expresses itself, it becomes things, and this Anatma, this is because feelings separate and Atma, feeling that separate, he expresses it, Bhasva, it's illusion, it expresses itself as me asa. Me asa means I am like this, I am like that, I am this, I am that, like this. Sahasra, like this, he keep on imagining various forms, various dimensions, various forms, various names, various identities, like this. It keeps on, because there is nothing, no, what can stop when you start imagining. Now in a dream, what can stop you? You keep on imagining things like that. This aham karana, this aham, that feeling of that separateness, that I, is continuously going on. So once this goes, what you say, this is called as ahankara. But that name of ahankara is also Maya Kalpit. It is just a name that we have called this ahankara. What that is, we don't know. So like this Kalpit, this to remove the ignorance, Anishta, it goes and creates the Deha, the body, its own existence. Just like he creates a space, separate space in the space, this creates a body, that Ahankara creates a body, And in this prakriya, it creates something called as ichcha, that is called as kama. Means the desires comes into picture. And now to fulfill those desires, those kama, it gets into some actions. It's called karma. And then once you start doing some karma, there will come some vasanas, some desires and cravings into picture. And like this, in the Maya Akash, in that thing, only it will keep on continue to take one body after another body. It continues to do that. So here, Rama, that ahankara is there. That aham jan, that individual consciousness, that thing, nothing but this mithya purush. This is Maya Purusha. It is the same thing. It is mithya only, it is illusion only, but still it will continue to protect the body like that home, that coop and that kumbha, that pot which is created by that mithya purush. Like that, this illusionary body which is there, this aham bhav, this jiva bhav, this individual consciousness will continue to protect this body. So like that, it will say, I am the one who is protecting the Atma. Not section. I am the one who is protecting the one which does not need you. No, it doesn't need protection. The one Nayanam Chinnanti Shatrani, Nayanam Dahati Pavaga. Neither the weapons can kill it, no, can destroy it or cut it. No, neither the water can take away with it. Neither the air can completely attack on it. Nothing, like nothing can does that. Maruta, that जो उसको सुखा नहीं सकता ना, that it can dry it out. Air which cannot dry it out. That thing that needs your protection. So you are under illusion. Come on, my dear. You do not know that. What is it that you are trying to protect? Your Atma. No? So that is what that bhavana, that mithya bhavana, that illusion, that thinks of the picture. And then once that is there, then hey Rama, that mind in that prakara, this ahankara alone is different. It expresses itself into different form, and that is where that it's only one ahankara but expresses itself into different name. So when it does the prana dharana, when it comes to this body consciousness using the prana kriya, the different body, it calls itself as jiva. The same ahankara takes the form of a jiva now. Now then it continues the same thing because of the vaya vishaya and the discrimination between the same thing. It will project itself as a buddhi, intellect, to discriminate, Veda Buddhi. That Buddhi will come into picture. Then it will keep on picking up the Vishayas. The Vicharas will come into picture. It will continue to do the contemplation, Manana. So the same Ahankara will project itself as Mana. It will continue to do Chintana. So it will call Chitta. No? Then this Asat Kalpana, because this is not a real thing. It is Asat Kalpana. Same Ahankara will take a roop of Maya, something as an illusion. And then like this, when it continues to do, and because of its sabha, when it goes and expand itself, and it will change itself, it will call as itself as prakriti, the nature. Like that, it will do the kalpana, some imagination. It will get into some sankalpa. I want to do this, I have to do that. This sankalpa, it's the same. It's expressing itself into multiple things. Then this sankalpit, this, okay, I want to do this, that sankalpa. And because of that, it will create some things around. And then that thing, it will call as kalpana. So different things. Then again, it will expand itself. And then it will say, I am doing this. And then I exist. And I am flowing like this. It will call itself as a kal, time. Then it will take some vishisht form. And then it will say to that form as kala, that I have created something. No? So vishishta vastu, the special things, or other part of that, or anything, anything that is called as kala, etc. Different, all this name, it's the same ahankara. It's the same thing that will, same ego will express itself into multiple things. And when it gets into things, and if you look at the other scriptures like Shrutis, Smritis, Ityadi, all these granthas, it is referred to as Kama, Ichcha, Sankalpa, something wanting to do something, Sanshaya, doubt, Shraddha, faith, Ashraddha, not having faith, Dhruti, etc. With this, all this kalpit, the imaginative words, it has been called in this, because of this Veda Buddhi, this tendency to discriminate good, bad, this name, that name. I'm Someshwar, I'm engineer, I'm art of living teacher, and what not, all the different identities that you associate is purely because of that ego itself. Is that ego alone is there. And in this entire illusionary world, this Maya, it is that thing which keeps creating, just like that Mithya Purush, that illusionary man keeps creating its form, keep creating its poop, that space keep creating its kumbh, that pot, and get into the illusion that it is protecting it. Like this, once someone realize this, like this, hey Rama, you don't get into the klesha like this. You don't get stuck into this illusionary things like this. Hey Rama, this, you realize this in this Maya Akasha, something which is that Vistirna, something which is there infinite, something which is there Shuddha, pure, something which is there Sukshma, very subtle, something which is there like a Shiva, something there with a Shiva, like that Atma, that Chidatma, that thing. How can anybody bind it? How can it have a limited akara? And how can one be, how can somebody go and protect it? No, that is really funny. One can really laugh at it. Like that, in that Hridaya Akasha, in that thing, that Sukshma, that thing, that one which doesn't get destroyed with the body, that thing. And people think that, okay, my body has gone, I am died, but is really died? No. So like that, Vyartha, people continue to repent, regret, and they continue to cry out like this, but you do not get entitled into it. Like that, this Ahankara, it is not anywhere created. It is just illusionary. It is projecting itself. Hey Rama, even though it appears in Jagat Roop, this is just purely illusionation. It is an unreal world. It is never created. This Satya, this truth, you become one with. This Ekaswarupa, you become one with, and be calm. No? Establish yourself into that Adi, Madhya, Antarahit, that Bhava, Abhava Shunya, no? That thing which is beyond Utpatti and creation, something which is never created, not destroyed, something which is there beyond any feelings or not having any feelings, something which is beyond any starting, middle, and the end, something which is beyond all these things. It is that truth. It is that one thing. In that pada, you establish yourself and be happy. Be very contented and be with that. That is where we conclude even this second chapter also. Tomorrow we'll continue with a story of Shiva telling a Bhrungi Shala. This being called Bhrungi Shala, he tells him how to do the vrat so that you can get yourself into someone called as Mahakarta, Mahabhuta, and Mahategi. And how to go ahead and do that, how to achieve Samadhi, Savikalpa Drishti is something that we'll see tomorrow. What is that vrat? What is it that austerity? What is it that tapas penance that one has to do? That is something which we'll see tomorrow. So right now I'll hand over this session to all of you. Kindly unmute yourself, express yourself. If you have any question, you can ask. Welcome to ask. If you'd like to express yourself, your takeaways, kindly go ahead and express yourself. Yeah, anyone would like to express them? It's a good idea to express what are the takeaways. This is what we do in the morning. It turns out to be very beautiful when we go ahead and express some of the learnings, some of the takeaways, some of the things that you feel, this is what I touched, no? Something which is unique that you felt, oh, this is what it was. Some contribution from your end to make it more valuable, more knowledgeable, so that all of us can learn from each other's sharing. That is what it is meant to be. Kindly take over and express yourself. Beena ji, Sarita ji, Rohini ji, would you like to express yourself, please? Okay, if not, then we'll take a pause. आज के इस सत्र को हम लोग यहीं पे रोक लेंगे. Conclude our today's session so that we can meet tomorrow. जय गुरुदेव.